Oh, people, this is part here with the review, the Kamen Saber RKF. Gosh darn it, is it the other way around? I haven't covered these in a while. The RKF, PowerRider Saber, Dragonic Knight, and Wonder Combo sets. So this is essentially Saber's counterpart to 01's Hybrid Rise set, where this is essentially all-in-one figure where you can transform your Saber RKF into Brave Dragon, Crimson Dragon, or Dragonic Knight, as shown up here, this is actually pretty cool. I don't know what happened to the bottom. So obviously we get the three forms. We get the entire, we get the entire wave lineup. And essentially the instructions, and obviously included, is the one and only Brave Dragon. So let's get this out in weeps. So here we have Saber out. Obviously, in the box he's packed as Dragonic Knight, but we're gonna go in respective form order. So here we have Saber Brave Dragon, like so, and he looks alright most of all. The biggest thing, the difference between this one and the retail, obviously retail, the like standalone version, is that he's lacking a lot more white. He's supposed to have white, obviously, in between him, but it's just gone on the legs. Obviously because of the form changing factor, I guess they had to sacrifice the white to better hide it. But I don't know, it definitely makes him a lot more plainer. But other than that, like, I think the paint job and the colors on here are actually pretty decent overall. Like, I like how the eyes are handled, cause I like the like kind of like faintness they have. And I think like just the upper stature they got pretty fine. Like the upper body is like fine. It's just the lower half that really feels lacking. Like obviously like this is fine and such. Obviously the skirt piece doesn't get any color and such. Obviously here we have the sword driver with the one book. And then obviously the Seiken within the helmet isn't painted. So let's just look into articulation. So articulation is pretty typical with RKF. If it actually wants to focus, the head rotates all the way through. The arm pops off because of the gimmick, but he can rotate it all the way just because it actually does move like so. So that you can do that. Arm swivel, hand swivel all the way through. I'll say it later. You can kick forward, kick to the side. Can't really kick back. Swivel and foot rotation as it's a ball joint. And then obviously upper. Wow. I did not know you can just take that off. Most likely because of caliber. So obviously this rotates and such. And yeah. So that's essentially it for the articulation. Obviously all the articulation is the same unless I state. So obviously you have his only accessory, the Kaiken Rekka, which I believe is just exactly the same as the initial release of Saber. So obviously you just hand it to him in his right hand. So now he seems more complete. Now he seems more complete and such. And typically with Saber RKFs, they would have or the Seiken, or the Sword Driver Riders at least, so Saber Blades and Espada, they would technically come with another Sword Driver accessory with their respective Seiken loaded in. But however, because obviously this set has a lot of stuff within it already, it's not included, sadly, but oh well. So speaking of that, I'm actually going to have to start taking apart Saber Brave Dragon, so then we can take a look at the base suit, essentially. So we are going to remove everything, even though we're going to have to put some of these pieces back. And then, so then we can take a look at the base, like the base template we're working with of this. So this is the base figure for Saber, who's just a faceless head, an armless torso. So this is essentially what we're working with right here. Then we got the lower body, a beltless or driverless and holderless belt, which is pretty interesting. You can use this for some like weird monster, I guess. Like, I don't know, it just looks, it looks unnatural for sure. Now specifically I'll be taking a look at, can I not stand him? He's not gonna stand, isn't he? Okay, he's just gonna weirdly crouch on the side. Obviously we already have taken a look at the arms. Obviously this is the Brave Dragon arm. You can have Brave Dragon himself snap on the neck, and I find that to be pretty neat. And I find it neat how just this works overall, because this is hinged onto this ball joint. So I like how that is, and obviously the hand rotates and bends. So the arm is pretty neat, and then this is the blank left arm, which I already took a look at. You know, it's not painted on the other side, but this is decent enough. Now, obviously, I already taken a look at the face, but this is essentially, because you essentially slot this square piece within the head, like so. Then the chest piece. Then this is how you clip it to the front. The right skirt piece, which I already looked at. Obviously there's the Hisatsu holder. And here we have the sword driver with one Wonder Red book. And then the other Hisatsu holder that will technically house the Seiken, but also, in my opinion, just the hardest piece to like actually remove, because for me, like, the issue is that this is really pliable and such, so like you're gonna have to really pull it out there. Luckily, I think because I already did it twice, I don't need to force it out as much, but like I am honestly kind of scared for this piece, because it seems like I could like potentially rip it and such. It just sucks, because obviously this is still pliable, but like, you know, you have an entire skirt to like pull it on. This, you only have this small thing, so it's really difficult trying to like actually get a grip on it and such. But anyways, let's pull out the pieces for the next formation. Okay, so here are the parts for Crimson Dragon. So obviously we have the helmet, which is, you know, pretty neat. Has the same effect as Brave Dragon, which I appreciate. The Crimson Dragon chest, even though this is mostly the eagle portion, obviously just with dragon and Sayu Journey. The Eagle Shin Guards. The front skirt piece for Eagle. The wings for Eagle. It's just one entire piece. The arm for Sayu Journey, which is pretty neat. I'll go more into it when we actually form it. And the skirt piece for Sayu. So let's take what you need for essentially from changing it to Brave Dragon to Crimson Dragon, obviously because you technically just remove the helmet, chest, and the belt, and the Hisatsu holder. And technically the first thing I would do is to just start the other skirt piece. You get that click like so. Actually no. You start by the Shin Guards, which I did not put them in the wrong way. It's just one peg, interestingly, and they're just, you know, the simple like circle ones. You take the Eagle front skirt, and then you see there's a post in front of the peg for the sword driver. Simply just stick it up like so. And I think I forgot to cover this, but the obviously sword driver with the 3 Wonder Ride books, which it just looks so flat for a figure. You just peg this in the same way that you pegged in the singular sword driver, and then peg the arm like so. Peg the front piece there. Then plug the mask. It's essentially a mask. And then last touch, go back here where you find these clips, and then peg the eagle wings. Like so. Now you have Saber Crimson Dragon, which I'm already gonna say, like, this one's probably my favorite. Although, actually, I just like how full this one is, definitely. But I take back what I said about this one. Probably my favorite. I was like, give him Rekka. He'll underhand it. Articulation's the same, obviously, with Sayu Ja. I guess I had to call it. It's just that he's the only arm that's actually significantly hindered because of the ring right here. He can still like shift it down and slightly lift it, but then you're gonna like bend this, so yeah, it sucks that you can't. This one loses its range. Like, that definitely sucks, but you can't really do much about it. Obviously you're not, these can move off to the side, so you're not really like hindered or like doing like anything. But then like you can, I don't know, all the poses I technically try to do with this form, I realize are just dragon or Sayu Dragon and such. Like, yeah, you can pretend he's flying and such, but I don't know. There's not really much I can like really say about this form, if sadly. I like how Eagle has silver, And then obviously like Sayu Journey has bunch of more gold, and the interesting like, I don't know what color, like this is like a peach-esque color from the arm and the chest, but sadly again it doesn't carry over to the skirt piece and such. But essentially what I actually wanted to cover with Crimson Dragon is just the stuff that you're technically not supposed to do, which is the other two wonder combos. So I'm just going to switch back to the singular sword driver, and you know, just simply, I'm not going to bother putting the other Hisatsu holder here because it's very minor. So obviously with this, by just switching the arm and getting rid of this and again having the other Seiken, now you have a partial Dragon Eagle, which is, again, like, it would have worked a lot better if you didn't have the Sayu Journey pieces here, but it's like, this is the closest thing you can make of Dragon Eagle. It's, you know, like, for the most part, it's interesting. Again, I think the thing that just sucks is that it's just the thing that these forms lack is just, I think the white really does help out, like, flesh the colors out, because just a lot of red and black, it just kind of makes it very, like, glaring. And then you now remove the eagle parts. This one is not as bad. Because you just simply add the Sayu Journey parts back. And then I personally just keep the Brave Dragon, or put back the Brave Dragon parts, because this technically looks normal. But here now you have a Sayu Dragon, which I think out of the two I probably do like this one, just because the red actually, like, the red is actually like equalized. You have the white here, so it'll at least look, you know, blended well. And again, you can make Saber do martial arts and flips and whatnot, woo and such. Because again, like, the skirt pieces will hide the white, or the missing, or the lacking of white. But it's cool that you technically can do these forms. It's just that obviously you're not given the head options or the chest options. It's really just these two options that are missing. But other than that, it's just cool that you can do them. And obviously, the best thing about this is, if you could tell, the pieces actually stick together well and such. So I'm already making a mess, and I'm gonna have to, like, do another recording. So let's cut to the Dragonic Knight armor. So here we have the Dragonic Knight armor laid out. So here we have the helmet, and then the chest armor. This is the silver plastic, or the gray plastic, is actually pretty neat. Oh, I can't, why doesn't this focus? The arms, obviously we'll take a more close look at this with the suit. No, not the suit, on the figure itself. And the Shin Guards. So to form this one, obviously you're actually gonna just completely strip everything off of your Saber RKF and just start equipping everything in. So obviously, now I just start again bottom up. Again, it's like, I find it interesting just how they managed to get this to work essentially, just because of how far the sword driver is to the actual figure. So it's actually really impressive they made it to look natural. And then I'll give him Rekka once again. And yeah, so here we have Dragonic Knight. And this is like pretty cool. Like if it wasn't kind of apparent already, this one's my favorite form out of his entire lineup. It's just like, it's like a proper evolution. It just makes a lot of sense. And it just, like, you know, I just like the simplicity of it. Just because, like, technically the RKF didn't really have a lot of work to do. They just, yeah, it would have been nice if they actually completed the colors, but, you know, it's just silver mostly. Or, like, dull gray, but, you know, this is, like, pretty sleek. And, like, I appreciate the Dragonic booster molded within the arm, and the hand is, like, literally, like, and the handle is, like, molded within the hand, so you technically can't switch this hand out because it can't even hold anything. And then you get the Dragonic Knight Wonder Ride book in there, so this is technically the only sword driver that have paint. And then you have the this part underneath the belt. Articulation on this one isn't as hindered because, again, just like Brave Dragon's dragon, this one actually does move around and doesn't feel like hindered, essentially. Yeah, the red Rekka is definitely glaring because now it's like you go from a figure that was heavily red to now a figure that's heavily, like, you know, a figure that's actually color balanced pretty well. And I always liked the helmet for Dragonic Knight and such. It's just the legs that are kind of glaring. Obviously, you look on, like, it's actually the chest that's also glaring when you look under here, because it's like, this is clearly not supposed to be here. Like, I find it interesting they found a way to, like, you know, put Brave Dragon and, like, Dragonic Knight into one figure, because clearly those suits aren't even related at all. So the fact they just managed to do that, it's interesting. It's just like with, like, 01, they actually made, like, Ryzen Hopper and, like, Metal Cluster into one figure. That's what this essentially is, because I don't think the undersuit for Dragonic Knight is black at all. Like, I think Dragonic Knight does have black, but I think especially this portion is not black. Now we have one more thing to look into, which is Brave Dragon himself. He's an interesting figure. He's probably the figure with the most paint. He's an interesting bonus for sure. His articulation, he can rotate his tiny arms and then rotate his legs, if you can actually move them. He doesn't have any bends, and then his, like, toes can, like, claw onto things, and they're kind of sharp. He can rotate, not rotate, but, like, he can, like, somewhat move around his neck. And then his head can rotate all the way, and then he can chomp and such. But other than that, he's actually kind of difficult to like stand. And speaking of standing, I forgot about his tail. I like the amount of ball joints there are here. It's like segmented and such. It's actually pretty cool and such. But anyways, the box advertises the ability of Saber riding Brave Dragon, because obviously that's the main gimmick of Dragonic Knight. However, I don't know how it's supposed to be done properly. I don't know if he's actually supposed to just stand on Brave Dragon or the temperature. So like, the thing is that the only way I managed to get Saber to ride on Brave Dragon is just literally by like hitching something like that, and then it just never works. I really don't understand how he's supposed to ride this. It's not entirely possible, because the way I'm doing it, I think it's not correct. Because I think he's supposed to be able to stand on him, but you just can't do that. So I'll just leave him like that, so then he can actually, like, you know, stick on. But other than that, like, see, like, you can tell from here, he's clearly standing on somewhere behind Brave Dragon. And the thing is that you can stand Brave Dragon like this, but it's just, he's not going to stand. But overall, my thoughts on this set overall is that, obviously, because this is supposed to be like, what essentially, like, excuse me, this is supposed to be like, you know, the, similar to the Hybrid Rise set that got released with 01. I think I already said that already. But, this is definitely an improvement over that set. Obviously, with the biggest factor being the pieces actually stick together. And I think because in this case, because it is only focused on 3 forms, they didn't really have to cater as much to, like, oh yeah, like, you know, this needs this much pieces to form this and such. Like, the pieces, you know, they're decently painted enough. And, you know, just the fact that it actually came with Brave Dragon's pretty interesting. I think it's just to fill up the budget of, hey, you know, you don't have 5 forms, but you have an additional figure, because you are essentially getting 2 figures, but just one can actually form change and such. So, like, you know, if you just want a simple figure of Dragonic Knight, or if you want, like, a bundle of Saber figures, but you don't want to have, like, multiple Sabers, then I guess I recommend picking this up. And also, you want a Brave Dragon for some reason. Obviously, for reasons, I just would say I just pick up the Soto for all of these. Obviously, Brave Dragon isn't in Soto, but just pick up the Soto because, you know, they're the underdog. You should support the underdog. However, that's a hard recommendation because of the fact Book 4 is difficult trying to track down, and Dragonic Knight is one of those figures that's hard. And that's the thing. Also, that's the thing with this set too. This set is kind of costly for some reason. For some reason, Mandarake is still selling this for a full price of like $30 to $35, which I don't recommend. I luckily got this on a sale from AmiAmi for $22, and I'm like completely justified with that. So if AmiAmi is still running its sale by whenever I put this out, pick it up at that point. Other than that, please do not support RKF when Revice happens. Support Soto. Again, they're They're the underdogs. Please support the candy toy lines. RKFs are just not it. Risotto does so much better at Soto just has a lot more love to it than RKFs do. Because again, I know this is like jumping to the end, but like literally, like this was like the third to last figure that ever happened within the line. So like for some reason, the Saber RKFs just stopped. I'll probably continue on that with the next one, but yeah, that's essentially it for this review. So this is PowerRider, and I'll leave you people.